Good afternoon, and please be seated, everyone. It is an honor to welcome all of you to the ceremony in honor of Ann Patterson, as she is about to be sworn in as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of New Jersey. Looking around the room, I see many loyal friends who have braved closed roadways, a rising river, in order to demonstrate your support, and the outpouring of warmth and excitement is infectious that we feel here today. I know that it is risky business, to say the least, to try to introduce some individuals by name in this illustrious group here. It would be far safer to say that there are more than 300 truly special guests that are here, which is not bad when you consider that there are probably more than 400 people here. But that wouldn't do justice to some of the individuals who've come from quite a distance, and I'm going to venture down the treacherous road and acknowledge a few of them with apologies in advance for anyone that I mistakenly failed to identify. Please hold your applause till the end, if you would. It's only fitting that we have representatives from all three branches of government here today. From the executive branch, Governor Christie, Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno, many members of the governor's cabinet and his senior staff, all of whom are deserving of individual mention. The legislative branch is represented by a number of members of the Senate and the Assembly: Senate President Steve Sweeney, Minority Leader Senator Kean, and in alphabetical order, Senators Beck, Bucco, Cardinale, Gill, Carrillos, Turner, Weinberg, former Senator Baroni, and Assemblyman Bucco and Chiusano. Thank you all from both branches of government for finding time in your busy schedules to be here today. There are many members of the judiciary. The entire Supreme Court is here, a large contingency of judges from the appellate division, all of whom will be reading each word that you write with tremendous care going forward. Assignment judges, trial judges, our colleagues from the federal bench led by Chief Judge Garrett Brown, eminent retired leaders of our state and nation, former Governor Brendan Byrne, Chief Justices Poritz and Zazali, a number of other retired justices whom we welcome today, and a special welcome to former United States Attorney General Nicholas Katzenbach. Extended members of the court family here today include Attorney General Paula Dow, Public Defender Joe Procora, distinguished deans of New Jersey's 3 law schools, Bar President Sue Feeney, United States Attorney Paul Fishman, and a very large number of practicing attorneys from throughout the state, including, I believe, virtually the entire Riker-Danzig law firm. If you think the work of the judiciary has ground to a halt today, just imagine the impact on billable hours at Riker from this ceremony alone. Or if you're somebody in senior management at Riker, you probably don't want to think about that at all. So many of Ann's friends, many that we've mentioned, and far more that have not been covered, and most important of all, Ann's family. As Ann said, there are a lot of Murrays here today, including her siblings, in-laws, nieces and nephews with whom she is so very close, her husband Jim, who's easily identified by sporting the broadest smile of anyone in the building today, and we're blessed to be able to share this event with Ann's mother, Regina Murray, whom I saved for last so that we can give her and everyone else an appropriate round of applause. We'll begin the program with the invocation by Sister Frances, former head of school of the Stuart Country Day School of the Sacred Heart, with which Justice Patterson has a long and deep affection, and it'll be followed right after by the singing of America the Beautiful by the Tartan Tones, also from the Stuart Country Day School, under the direction of Steve Kim. Sister Frances.
Today is a very special day for Ann Murray Patterson. All of her family, friends, and colleagues are here. Among those people of her family who are gathered here today are her mother, Regina Murray, her husband, Jim, and in spirit, her father, the late Holt Murray. All have been an incredible support to Ann and stand with her today. Many others have gathered here to pray for her and to support her as she takes on her new responsibility. So we pray. O God, the fountain of wisdom, whose will is good and gracious, and whose law is truth, we ask you to bless and guide Anne Marie Patterson, who today will join the Supreme Court of New Jersey. Having known Anne for many years, and having had the opportunity to watch her grow and to develop into the woman of integrity that she is, we ask you to be with her in all that she does. Her experience, knowledge, love of the law, and wonderful wit make her a true gift to us. We ask you to give her the light of right judgment, courage, wisdom, and reverence as she faithfully, impartially, and justly performs all the duties of an associate judge of the Supreme Court of New Jersey. O God of justice, we ask you to bless the men and women who serve in government, the governor, the Senate and Assembly, the judiciary, and all those who support them in their work. Give them the spirit of wisdom and understanding so that they may fulfill the responsibilities entrusted to them. May they know that you are with them in all of their service to the people of New Jersey. Amen.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for
magnificent. What a wonderful, wonderful presentation by the Trenton Tones. Thank you. We're privileged to hear next from the governor of our state, a leader who truly needs no introduction. It certainly seems these last 2 weeks that he has been virtually everywhere in our state. And I know today, with the weather conditions being what they are, he must be pulled in every which direction. Thank you for being able to be with us here today at the War Memorial for this special ceremony. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Governor Christie.
Justice and members of the Supreme Court, Senator Sweeney, Governor Byrne, Senator Kean, the Lieutenant Governor. I want to thank all of you, the friends and family of Justice Patterson, for being here today. I think people come to the governorship through many different routes and through many different professions. Governor Byrne and I share the similarity of coming to the governorship as lawyers who practiced in our state courts, as prosecutors, and then to become elected governor of the state. When you come through that direction, one of the most important things that you tend to as governor is appointments to the judiciary. Not just because conceptually you understand that it's one of the most important tasks placed before a governor, but also because you've practiced in these courts as a member of our profession. You recognize in the most personal way how important the choices that governors make over the years are for the effective administration of justice in our state, for the sense that you hope that the public gets, that the members of the judiciary are fair and honest, wise, and act at all times. And what they believe approximates as best as they can the interests of justice. And so, as it fell to me to make my first selection as governor for a justice of the Supreme Court, I thought and spoke with my staff about all the different attributes that I would like to see in someone that I would put on the court. I got to know Ann Patterson well over now 20 years ago as practicing lawyers, working together on a very large piece of litigation where we had to travel to all different parts of the country and work together on the same side of this particular matter. And she was a great mentor to me. She was a little more experienced than I was in the practice of the law at the time, and helped to guide me through some of the more rough spots of being one of the younger folks in this particular piece of litigation. And what I said to the members of the Supreme Court last week when we had an opportunity to be together was that I always hoped that governors would decide to put the best lawyer they knew on the Supreme Court when they had the chance to make that choice. I got to do exactly that. There may be some lawyers that I've met over time who are as good a lawyer as Ann Patterson, but there's none that I've ever met who were a better lawyer. And so for me, today is so special, not just from a personal perspective, because I've known Ann for all these years and consider her not only a trusted colleague, but a friend. But it's also special because I've gotten to fulfill what I hoped other governors were thinking when they appointed their members to the Supreme Court. I got to actually pick the best lawyer I knew to be on the Supreme Court. For all of the lawyers who are out there, I think you'll understand just how important this is. Because I know that Justice Patterson will never forget what it was like to be attorney Ann Patterson. She won't forget what it was like to be on the other side of that bench. She will be well prepared. She will think through her positions thoroughly. And most importantly, she will treat everyone in that room with enormous respect, because that's who she is. She wouldn't know any other way to do it. And so as we've gone through this process, I've also gotten to learn one thing about Ann that I didn't really know about her before. She's got some real patience. And during the course of the year or so that her nomination was pending before the court, I would call her every couple of months just to kind of check in with her, make sure she was doing okay. And every time, invariably, she would say the same thing to me. Governor, don't waste your time calling me. I'm fine. I'm fine. This will all work out. I think that was an attribute that I didn't know Ann had, that I think also prepares her well for the position she's now assuming. She has a great sense of perspective and patience, which I think also will serve someone very well on the Supreme Court. And so now, as she embarks on this next stage of her career, I feel incredibly lucky to have played a part in making this happen. But I do know from everything inside me that in some ways I am just a vessel of destiny. When someone as outstanding a lawyer as Ann Patterson, who impresses everyone she comes across in the profession, the moment is going to come, I believe, where fate takes over a bit and the creep simply rises to the top. I think that's what's happened today. I don't think this is any great moment of wisdom for me. I think it's just me, once again, doing one of the things that I do best, recognizing the obvious. And the obvious is that Ann Patterson belongs on the New Jersey Supreme Court. And with all due respect to all the justices, she will make it better by the dint of her ethic, of how she conducts herself, her integrity, her hard work, her good humor, and her absolute belief in our system of laws and justice. All those things and more are going to make her not only a good justice, but I believe a historical one. And that decades from now, people will look back on her time on this court and believe that those of us who played a role in this chose wisely. But what they'll miss is that the choice was very obvious, and that her success is inevitable because of who she is, where she comes from, how she was raised, and how she's conducted her life. So to Justice Patterson, I wish you all the best in this new challenge and adventure in your life. And I know that no matter what else I may be able to accomplish as governor, that I have fulfilled one of my major duties today by putting someone bright, good, and decent in our highest court to make sure that justice is done for the people of this state. Thank you all very much.
It's our pleasure next to hear from the Honorable Tom Kean, Jr., Minority Leader of the New Jersey Senate. Senator Kean.
Thank you. It's an honor and it's humbling to be here today to join you and in this extraordinary event. It's become rather the norm on every single news channel to say that government does not work very well, that it's dysfunctional. But I can say that we were all here today because government does work. When unique people are put in unique place to make a real difference in people's lives, government can and will make a difference. Governor Christie was right. He had extraordinary good judgment, as he usually does, in making, and especially in this nomination, making a nominee who would make a difference in the future. Now, I'm in one of the non-attorneys in this room. I know there are a few of us. The Senate President and I are both non-attorneys in the legislative branch. So when Ann and I started talking about her qualifications for office, we could talk about some of the great cases, about some of the issues going forward, but you know, she and I were at the same college together, so I said, you had me at Dartmouth. I will do everything in my power to ensure that you get across the finish line and do our alma mater proud. I didn't know that it would be the marathon every year. But the important thing that we saw, and her being is, you know, there are very few legacy issues that people in the legislature can become a part of. And there are very few smoke-free indoor acts that impact, you know, generations of people going to restaurants and making sure the kids are healthier than they are today. There are very few, and I probably shouldn't mention it because it's before the courts, but pension and health benefits reforms that are historic in nature and long-lasting. But getting the right people in the bench, on the bench, at every level, is one of the most important functions that we in the legislature serve. Because the real interaction that people have in their daily lives that makes a real difference, besides the Motor Vehicle Commission, is the courts. And so a person who's probably going to be on the grand jury next week, not before, but on, in Union County, I know that it's the system of justice that ensures that people have the better future. And Ann Patterson, that she was going through, not only in my district office, and we're talking about the issues and we're talking about how to get across the finish line, but she came before, and I heard from every single senator with whom she met, Republican and Democrat alike, they came away convinced that the next generation's future would be better if Ann Patterson were on the bench, administering justice. And I happened to serve on the Judiciary Committee on the day that Ann came, then candidate Ann came before the Judiciary. And I wish that that could be the type of TV people would watch nowadays. Because in how she addressed that committee, and also how that committee rose to the occasion and said, we are in the presence of greatness, and understanding this is going to be a historic justice. And then when we came before the full Senate, and they rose together on a bipartisan basis, and I want to thank the Senate President for bringing her before the Senate. On a bipartisan basis, they came together and said, we can rise to this occasion. The executive, the judicial, and the legislative branch came together because one person in history was making a difference, because she had accepted the call. She had accepted the call to step before and say, I can make a difference in history. And so as a fellow Dartmouth alum, I know there are 3 of us on stage. As a fellow Dartmouth alum, I humbly just want to say, on behalf of the people of the state of New Jersey, thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Senator. And in a few short moments, you'll take an oath to support and defend the Constitution and to perform the duties of an Associate Justice faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of your ability. Those few simple words capture the challenges and obligations that lie ahead, and although the oath can be said in about a moment or so, it summarizes and foreshadows a lifetime of effort and dedication and commitment. How does one carry out the pledge that that oath requires? The pledge to other branches of government that we serve together to serve the people best, and the very same pledge that we make directly to our fellow citizens in this state. We can try to live up to that oath in a number of ways, by maintaining a sense of humility in the power entrusted to you and an appreciation for how it can alter people's lives, by striving for excellence and integrity in all that one does, and by approaching matters with an open mind and a keen sense of fairness, and by accepting and embracing the importance of the rule of law and the responsibility to protect the rights of all individuals guaranteed by our Constitution and the laws of our state. You have been blessed, Anne, in many ways, to live up to that challenge and those obligations. With an exceptional academic background that the Senator has just foreshadowed, you're an accomplished lawyer with experience in so many different practice areas, from your decades of service in the private sector, your work as a Deputy Attorney General and Special Assistant Attorney General, and in addition to your obvious skill and talent, you bring a reputation, as the Governor said, for unquestioned integrity and civility. And it's impossible not to note the grace and the charm that we have all seen, anyone who's come in contact, including members of the court, at our meetings and conversations these past months. All of those qualities will stand you in good stead as you wrestle with difficult legal issues, as you listen to lawyers and colleagues, and as you try to persuade them of the wisdom of your position. I know I speak for every member of the court when I say we are delighted to welcome you and feel privileged to be able to work alongside you as a justice on the Supreme Court. Now, I'm told that you also have some other qualities that are perhaps less well known that I'm sure will enhance the judiciary as well. You see, we some days sit for many, many hours, 8 hours plus, debating motions and cases and cert petitions, and a well-timed one-liner, which I know you've been known to use at Riker, can cut through issues in a refreshing way. Same is true for advice about the latest shows that one might want to see from an avid theater goer like yourself. We've already gotten a sense of Anne's passion for dogs. What I did not know, and only learned just recently, is that she is a bird lover and a bit of a historian about the English monarchy dating back generations, and is an authority, I understand, no joke here, of the line of succession. Now, I'm always amazed at the breadth of cases that the New Jersey Supreme Court gets regularly, and my pledge to you is that if any of them involve bird watching or ascension to the British throne, those are your opinions to write in. And we've also gotten a glimpse today of her dedication to the Stuart Country Day School, one of a number of causes that is dear to her. And I mention some of these passions and qualities not just as a matter of human interest, but because they speak collectively to what goes into the making of a great judge. Sense of humanity, curiosity, wisdom, and an overriding sense of decency and fairness. Associate Justice Anne Patterson hits strongly on all of those measures, and we welcome with pride her addition to the highest court of our state. It is a privilege to invite you and Jim to the podium now for the administration of the oath of office.
I, Anne Murray Patterson,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will perform the duties
and I will perform the duties
of Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of New Jersey
Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of New Jersey
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, Senate President Sweeney, and other members of the legislature, Chief Justice Rabner, present and past members of the Supreme Court, judges of the Appellate Division and our trial courts, members of the federal judiciary, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I thank each and every one of you for your presence today. Governor Christie, thank you for your generous words, for your confidence in me, and for the exceptional honor of your first Supreme Court nomination. You and the outstanding lawyers sitting with you have conducted the nomination process with respect and courtesy. In a state blessed with a talented bar and bench, I know how fortunate I am to have been nominated to serve the people of New Jersey on our court. You know that I appreciate the enormous responsibility of this constitutional office, and you know that I will work hard every day to be worthy of it. Thank you. With the simple words, advice and consent, the Constitution assigns to the Senate a crucial role in shaping the judiciary. The confirmation process has underscored my great respect for our legislature. My thanks to Senate President Sweeney, and I'm honored by your presence today, Senator, the Senate leadership, Chairman Scutari, and each member of the Judiciary Committee for a confirmation hearing conducted with professionalism and courtesy. Many senators took the time to meet with me to talk about issues that are important to their constituents, and I thank each of them for their insights. Senator Kean, I appreciate your constant support and your kind remarks today, and you had me at Dartmouth. Chief Justice Rabner, Justices Long, LaVecchia, Albin, and Hones, and Judge Weffing, thank you for the warm welcome to the Supreme Court. You have given me sound and practical advice, answered my many questions, and eased my transition from private practice to the court. I note with great pride that New Jersey joins a handful of states in which women comprise the majority of the Supreme Court. With Judge Weffing's service over the next several months, the margin is 5-2, which no doubt evokes sympathy in some parts of this room for Chief Justice Rabner and Justice Albin. I am sure that they will get plenty of advice on how to cope with these astonishing circumstances. I know from this first week how much I will enjoy working with each of you in the months and years to come. I also thank the retired justices, each of whom has reached out to me to offer advice and support. I am grateful for the professionals of the judiciary, Judge Glenn Grant and his staff at the AOC, Mark Neary, and the Supreme Court Clerk's Office, who have spared no effort to help me as I begin my judicial career. Special thanks to Donna Anapete, who has done so much work to arrange the ceremony, to Diane Agapito, who runs my chambers with efficiency and cheer, and to my law clerks, who I know will be an enormous help over the next year. Thank you, Sister LaChapelle, for the eloquent invocation, and to the Stuart Tartantones and their director, Steve Kim, for their beautiful performance. It is a great honor to have so many distinguished members of our bar in this room, leaders of the State Bar Association and the specialty bars, friends who are my former co-counsel and adversaries, colleagues from my nearly 30 years as a member of the New Jersey Bar. The people of New Jersey are served with skill and dedication by our bar, trying the cases, arguing the appeals, litigating in 21 county courthouses, sometimes 3 in a day, and 3 federal vicinages, conducting the pro bono work that ensures equal access to justice. The New Jersey Bar is distinguished not only by its excellence, but by its collegiality. The leaders of our profession are models for young lawyers. They zealously represent their clients, but treat one another with civility and care. That professionalism has enriched my life as a lawyer, and I could not be prouder of our bar that is so well represented in this room. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I joined Riker Danzig when I was 24, right out of law school. I chose the firm because of its sterling reputation, its commitment to New Jersey, and its outstanding leaders. Marie Garibaldi had just left Riker Danzig to become the first woman on the New Jersey Supreme Court, and the firm gained the wisdom of the late Justice Sidney Schreiber and Justice Stuart Pollock. Attorney General Peter Peretti, who was unable to travel here, but whose daughter-in-law is here from Texas to represent him, is a phenomenal mentor and a dear friend. as is Attorney General William Highland, who was unable to be here as well. And as Chief Justice Rabner said, we have with us today one of the heroes of our profession and our state, Trenton's own U.S. Attorney General Nicholas Katzenbach. Nick stood up for fairness and equality at a pivotal moment in the struggle for civil rights. His intellect, in demand to solve the most challenging problems of two presidencies, is matched by his kindness and his wonderful sense of humor. Working with Nick was one of the great experiences of my life. In fact, I can say to the Riker partners now, I'm surprised you paid me. Nick, I cannot tell you what an honor it is to share today with you. Thank you for being here. To my former partners and colleagues at Riker Danzig, thank you for your friendship, for your support during my transition from practice to the court, and for honoring me with the reception to follow shortly. I know that you will continue to represent your clients with the high standards of competence and conduct that I learned at the firm. My dear friends at the firm know how much they mean to me, and how grateful I am for our years of working together. Jim tried to extract a promise from me that I would not mention him. Sorry. But I will keep it short. Jim's love and support, his wise advice and unfailing sense of humor have been at the center of my life since we met as college students 33 years ago. John Adams counted himself lucky to be married to his dearest friend, and so am I. Thank you for the wonderful life we share. So many of my family and Jim's family and our friends have traveled a long way to be here. There are a lot of Murrays in this room, ranging in age from 2 to 92. I won't tell you who the 92-year-old is because I don't want to be in trouble with my mother. Many of you know Jeansy, as her grandchildren call her, so talented, accomplished, and kind. Mom, you're an incredible mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and we all love you so much. Your presence today makes today perfect for me. My dad is very much in all of our thoughts today. He was a war hero who made light of his achievements because he considers himself so lucky to have made it home. He cared deeply about this city and volunteered thousands of hours so that citizens of Trenton had access to quality health care. He loved our state more than anyone I ever knew. Indeed, as my siblings can attest, he did not believe there was any reason to leave New Jersey for even a day. Because everything you need, and we heard it a lot, the shore, the mountains, the cities, the most interesting people you will ever want to meet from all over the world, they are here. After 17 years of marriage and 4 kids, my mother finally persuaded him to go on a real vacation, just the 2 of them, and actually leave New Jersey. On day 3, Dad suggested maybe they could go home and have a trip to the shore instead. The answer was no. But she never did have much luck getting him out of here. Like my father, I have enormous pride in our state. It is a place of good and decent people from every conceivable background and circumstance. Despite these differences, I believe that we New Jerseyans have much in common. The most important common characteristic is that the people of our state do not mince words. They say what they think about their government, their beliefs, and their fellow citizens. They exercise a freedom of expression that is vital to a dynamic and vibrant democracy. This freedom is protected in our strong and unique state constitution. The men and women, and there were a few women, who wrote that Constitution in 1947 recognized that freedom of speech and expression and civilized respect for the opinions of others, no matter what those opinions might be, are the foundation of effective and meaningful political discourse. Our Constitution and other laws protect and cherish those rights. There's another aspect of the state constitution that is also essential to the vitality and effectiveness of our political system and reflects the wisdom of its authors. The Constitution, as we all know, carefully defines 3 co-equal branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The framers envisioned a judicial branch that would guard the liberties of our citizens with abiding respect for the duties and responsibilities of the coordinate branches, elected by the people of our state. In that spirit, and with the full realization that, as someone much brighter than I once said, the devil is in the details, I will strive to the best of my ability to apply and interpret the laws and constitution of this great state. I begin my term as an Associate Justice with gratitude and humility, and I look forward to the work ahead. Thanks to each of you for sharing this special day.